Awesome. Okay, thanks so much for coming on the call, Elizabeth. How are you doing?
Good, how are you, Jet?
Awesome. All good here. Nice. So yeah, I think it would be awesome maybe if you could give a little intro of where you're from, so people can get to know you as well.
Yeah, so I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, which is kind of like right in the middle of the United States.
Cool. Awesome. Nice. So I think it's been now 1 or 2 months ago since we spoke first, right? And yeah, I'm really curious to hear. Maybe you can share what your struggles were before joining LLMP.
Yeah, so before joining LMP, I was actually working for a great agency, a media agency out in New York that I really enjoyed. But I kind of learned kind of how much clients were actually paying the agency for monthly work, and I was pretty much the one doing most of the work. So I thought, oh, how neat with some of my, spare time, kind of like in the evening, weekends, whatnot, to start a side hustle and get some clients of my own. So that was kind of how I got into it, was just kind of trying to find my own clients and kind of start my own business.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Nice. Yeah. Awesome. And what do you feel like was, let's say, the biggest struggle in doing that? Like what do you feel like you were really running into before starting? And yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest struggle before starting was really knowing how to find clients,
Mm-hmm.
specifically that wanted to work with freelancers or kind of understood freelancing, in that, it wasn't like a full-time job, or it wasn't, they were my sole focus, because obviously I did have the agency and full-time jobs, so that was a big part of it. And then just a lot of the extra little pieces about, actually kind of building my own brand, and knowing like how to price myself correctly, so I wasn't charging like insane amounts, but I wasn't, lowballing myself either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, cool, definitely. Yeah. Okay, and what do you feel like was the most valuable for you so far, like in the program? What was some of your maybe favorite things?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me right off the bat was just everything about getting in the right mindset and a lot of the motivation, mantras and stuff like that, because I'm actually a pretty negative person in most
Mm-hmm.
things. I'm really hard on myself. I just get kind of into those moods of like, why am I doing this? Or, I'm not good enough, that kind of a thing. So that was, I think, the first kind of kickstart, is really getting myself in that mindset. And then, like I said, kind of module 3, learning how to price myself correctly, and like what I needed to be charging to be actually like making money for the work I was putting in, was really helpful. And then, like I said, a lot of those other pieces that I didn't really have, some of the sales and lead gen and call mastery, where to find clients, and how to convince them maybe that I was a good fit and knew what I was talking about, in a more like eloquent way.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. No, thanks for sharing that. That's cool that you found those things most valuable. And obviously I know, but maybe you can share what's your biggest accomplishment, right? Since the program, since you started.
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. I started the program at the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of mentioned, it was originally just supposed to be kind of a side hustle, like one or two kind of clients on the side. And then I actually ended up getting laid off from my full-time agency at the end of September. So like 1 month into LLMP. Um, and that's when I really had to kind of shift gears and be like, okay, well, am I going to go back to corporate? Am I going to try and find another agency? Which I did kind of apply to a lot of jobs and do interviews, but I was also really focused on building my brand at the time through LLMP, and throwing myself into my personal brand, my story, what clients I wanted to work with, and putting myself out there more on LinkedIn and Upwork and Instagram. Um, so yeah, I'm really blessed that, just kind of through LMP, and in 2 months' time with an LMP, I was able to land 5 clients, kind of on my own merit, that I get to work with now as my full-time job. So I've actually turned down 2 other corporate positions. My agency actually asked me to come back full time, and I was able to tell them no, because I'm actually like fully booked myself, and doubled my income from what I was making.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
so
definitely
awesome.
my biggest win.
That's so awesome. I love it, and it's such a you know uh, it's such a cool thing, that obviously it's horrible that happened to you, and you got laid off and kind of put out there in that way. But it definitely pushed you, to go to choose for yourself. And then I guess it's kind of ironically that they came back and you can say, no, thank you. I'm good now, which is really, really awesome, And yeah, I think we spoke a little bit about it, but obviously if you continue like this, you can call yourself a six-figure business owner, which is so awesome, right? It's like it's such a big accomplishment in a very short time. So you should definitely be super proud of doing that so fast. That's amazing. Yeah, cool, awesome. And so I also know, I think, you have a accountability partner as well, and you're catching up a lot with the community and always on the calls, which definitely, I think also shows how dedicated and motivated you were, to start and really go all in on the program, which was yeah, awesome to see, definitely. Yeah. Cool. So let's say it's obviously not that long ago, so yeah, it's literally like 2 months ago or so. But do you still remember, how you thought about investing in yourself, and what's the reason you were like, okay, you know what, I'm going to invest in myself, and I'm going to really do the coaching program? Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually started following you on Instagram about a year ago, and I mean, I always kind of saw your posts and your stories, and I think we had chatted a few times just kind of in the DMs about like what I was doing and getting started, and how I was thinking about maybe taking clients on the side and whatnot, but wasn't really ready to commit to a program or fully scale. And then I don't know, it was just kind of this past summer, it really became like a thing for me. Like I really wanted to start my own business and have clients on the side, and I felt like I could, probably figure it out on my own because I had so many of the skills coming from, college and my master's and then experience in the marketing world. But it really came down to needing, the support system and some of those other pieces. And I could have spent so much time trying to, YouTube everything, but just like I said, kind of following your journey and seeing your success, and then, talking to you and Morgan, I think that's what really kind of, it just like pushed me to that decision to join LLMP and kind of expedite things a little bit, and, joining that community.
For sure. Yeah, cool. So let's imagine, right? Let's imagine someone is watching this right now because they're either, considering to have that chat with us, to get on a call and to join our program. What would be your biggest advice to them? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would definitely tell them to do it sooner than a year. Don't follow Jet for a year and then decide to join LLMP. Just like the support system, like I said, and the learnings, and being able to ask the questions. The only thing I wish I did was start sooner, because then I could have been in such a different place now. Like I'm so excited to see where I'm going to be a year from now, and I could have been there today. So definitely don't wait and just start if it's something you're even remotely thinking about, because if you're willing to put in the work, it really will pay off. Especially with your guys' like guarantee, like the support's always there.
Awesome, cool. No, thanks so much for sharing that. And yeah, I'm crazy excited to see, how you're gonna grow in a year from now, and probably, expanding more towards agency model as well, which is super cool. Yeah, so I would say, anyone watching this, definitely connect with Elizabeth, in the community. And yeah, I think we will see lots more from you for sure in the next months. Yeah, cool.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Yay.